security teacher as Ms. McFadden to post private tutoring solicitation together with the school regular information. Are teachers allowed to direct parent interest in private advertisement to email them at school? It is a regular practice and a school policy for teachers to search for lies in front of other students. On Wednesday, May 13, 2009, when I met with, this is the last one, when I met with Ms. McFadden and the school principal, Ms. McFadden denied searching Lizzie for lies, but admitted that Ms. Nurse Lisa did go to her room and search every kid for lies in front of each other. At school allowed her. She mentioned herself as being only an observer, contradicting herself as on many other occasions regarding Lizzie being very reliable in her information. Therefore, I want to know if HIPAA policy allowed District 107 school nurses to search for head lies in the classroom in front of other students, having the children humiliated if they are found to have lies. HIPAA policy has been very clear about this issue, and I already contacted different districts about this searching that completely seems to be against HIPAA policy unless District 107 has a special authorization to violate it. Lizzie's removal from school was due to Pleasantdale's failure to provide her with an equal opportunity learning and development environment. Why absolutely nobody would prevent these terrible experiences that my daughter had to go through so early in life is beyond my understanding. My child's innocence was violated by the action of Ms. McFadden. Her rights were violated further by the action and refusal to act in the best interest of the child by Nurse Lisa, Mr. Vandekar, and the superintendent. This school system should be ashamed of itself, and I hope that my fellow community members remember this case well, and that you as a board member of education please investigate and stop all future possibilities of abuse like this to any other children. Thank you for listening.
Mrs. Campos, is what you read this all in there? Okay, I just wanted to confirm
It's
that
even
that's
more,
what you left.
because I can't tell you all. And all these emails has been through Ms. McFadden and me
That's-
also.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you. I
very,
just
very
wanted to
much.
confirm that you left that for the board. Thank you. Anyone else in the audience this evening?
I do.
Please.
Do I have to stand?
Yes. Well, you identify yourself for the record.
My name's
please.
Lori Valentine. I have a 5th grade child that has been homebound for school for approximately a month now. She has an extremely traumatic early life experience, and without going into the gory details, suffice it to say that over the course of this year, she has reported an increased difficulty functioning in school. Her perception is that she is emotionally attacked on a daily basis. This is her perception. And that she can no longer focus on schoolwork or tolerate the stress, which has manifested itself physically in reoccurring stomach and headaches. Her pediatrician has examined her and interviewed her. Her psychologist agrees at this time that Delia needs help in regaining control of her emotional state and in feeling safe. Regardless of these assessments and our choice to allow her to learn at home, she has been denied the services outlined by the district policy, I believe it's 6.4, that addresses homebound instruction. We've been told that because Delia is capable of coming to the school, that any tutoring allowed her must be done at the middle school building. She has reported extreme anxiety and discomfort and even sitting in a conference room to take makeup tests. She has asked me to stay with her. This has also been denied. I would like the board to respond to why this policy is in place, and if it is not applied equally to every child that qualifies, why is that? I feel that individual assessments of Delia's health are being made and used to override the expertise of her doctor. This child is experiencing what has been defined as post-traumatic shock syndrome. Anybody that doesn't know the Larson family can research how her mom died, how she found her, the details of that, and how she had to live through 2 years later learning that her 15-year-old sister hung herself. It seems that her needs are less important than a child who cannot physically come to school. The fact that this child functions as well as she does currently for what she has experienced is amazing. I am asking the board to grant her the homebound tutoring that she qualifies for while we all work to get her to a better place within herself. I'm requesting a written response to all these issues as soon as possible so that she can finish the last 2 weeks of school, keep current in the curriculum with fair assessment for her current emotional needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience this evening?
After those two, I just wanted to say that when we were talking about when we were talking about the interactive boards, it was stated for 1st through 8th grade. I hope kindergarten is included in them because I was lucky at NCTM. I went and I got to see the authors of Envision Math, which I think is going to be a fabulous math program. And I think one of the best components is the digital component, which he had said would be horrible if you didn't have it in the K-1 programs because it tells a story with every lesson and the kids get to interact with it. So I really want to make sure that the kindergarten classroom, which I have no children in next year, do have the interactive smart boards. And then my other thing, I hate to rehash, but this is something that the authors had said, everyone should have 60 minutes of math. So I hope we're able to somehow schedule 60 minutes in our half-day kindergarten program because it all is a tumbling effect with math. You know what, if you get half the program in kindergarten, but then when they go to 1st grade and you want them in this 1st grade program, they're only going to have had half the experience. So I mean, after listening tonight with multi-age preschool, which I totally support, if parents are going to want to spend the money for the 2 days, I think absolutely they should. I have to keep going back to extended day kindergarten versus full day kindergarten. There's a difference. In terms of curriculum, there's absolutely a difference in what you learn in a full day kindergarten program and what you learn half day versus the extended day. Now my daughter, she's had a great experience, but she definitely has not been exposed to full day curriculum. And I won't comment on reading, which I know nothing about, but just math comparing to what's happened in other places. I mean, and I do not probe her. The one day she came home and she said, "We're still doing 4. Can you believe we're still doing 4? I mean, I said, didn't respond, because I want my kid to love school. But I mean, they do. It's like they're getting good concepts, good activities. But I mean, Dr. Fredisdorf, look at your old school district, Flossmoor. Compare what's happening in the kindergarten district in Flossmoor to what's happening here. And I really do think that there is a huge difference. So if we're going to start supporting this multi-age, having kids go full day, I think you're going to get different kids from this full day preschool program that are going to learn a lot more. So we have to be ready for them in kindergarten. And again, kindergarten, you need to have play. I think everybody in early childhood knows that you need to have play. So what I see happening is our half-day kids, they don't get that time for play. And then the extended day, they're rushed through this curriculum. And I'm going to also quote one more other person I saw. I don't know if anyone's heard of Dr. Michael Haggerty, and he's somebody that I really respect in reading. He's from Bensonville, and it's a bilingual district, Bensonville. And he had said, like with the kids, he came right out and he said, in kindergarten they need to learn to read. He says what we currently have in place is that by week 13, the kids know their letter sounds. And the reason they do is they send home when the kids register for kindergarten the letter factory video that the kids are able to use. And, I just, like I said, I'm thinking, wow, if they're learning to read in Bensonville by week 13, I think we could easily do that as well. And then the last thing in terms of test scores, I'm amazed how many people are tutored in kindergarten. So when we see this kindergarten class that my daughter's in terms of how high their test scores is, I want bar 1 extended day, bar 2 full day, bar 3 who was tutored this year in kindergarten, because a lot of kids are being tutored to read.
Thank you. Anything else?
I just have a few comments. Gina Nelson, Willow Springs. If I'm not mistaken, there already is a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old class right now. It happens in the afternoon. I think 2 days a week she goes to the 4-year-old class because there weren't enough kids in the 3-year-old class. So you might want to look into that. I'm curious as to who's going to pay the direct and indirect costs of the 1 hour from 11:30 to 12:30, because you're charging on the morning rate and you're charging on the afternoon rate, but you are still keeping them there an extra hour. So I'm just curious as to who's going to absorb that extra cost. Excuse me, I have a cold.
I'm sorry.
According to board policy, I thought the discussion and action were supposed to take place at 2 separate meetings unless it's an emergency, and I was kind of surprised to hear the preschool multi-age thing discussed and acted on tonight. I really don't think it's an emergency. I know that last year when we brought this issue up about kindergarten, we had to wait 3 months for the discussion to take place. And when you had 40 parents here,